it's a concept that I've encountered in other cultures, that there's a grieving for that which you did not know you had lost
Yeah.
Yeah.
until you become aware of what you'd lost.
No,
and
absolutely.
and so I anticipate that when I get back together with a bunch of people and drums and play, that I will experience an overwhelming sense of, oh my God, I really miss this. I'm
Yeah.
not experiencing it now because I can't experience it in that sense. But I think when I play again, it's going to be like deeply emotional. And I also think that it's going to be deeply emotional for everybody else. And I think when we do come back, our drum circles will be different. I think they will have changed because of the experience everybody's had of not being in space together. So I've talked earlier about this isolation. I was watching a little program where a family sat down to eat dinner, and I burst into tears. It's like 10 minutes before I came online, watching a family eating food together. Because I'm eating in isolation. It's just me having a meal here by myself 3 times a day. And it just suddenly pulled this sense of, oh my God, I would love to sit down and eat food with people. And I think at so many different levels, whilst I said I'm okay, and I really am, I know that there are things that I'm going to do beyond this where I'll be like, oh my God, it's just so good to sit down and eat food with people. All the things that we took for granted
Yeah.
are going to be like, it's going to be like waking from the dead and
Yeah.
being given another day. I think there's going to be a lot of that kind of hyper feeling around simple things like that you've not been able to do for 2 years or 12 months or for however long. Feels like a long time.
No, I have to agree
Well,
with you. Go, Debbie.
we were told today by the National Concert Hall that they think it'll be August before groups are actually physically meeting.
Sure.
So you're talking 2 years.
I mean, we've just opened the doors for the UK Play Shop in the end of September and October, and I'm praying like deep, deep, deep internal prayers that we get to do that, because that's going to be that moment that I just described when people start walking through the doors. I mean, and right now, honestly, I don't even know if Western Lodge will still be in existence in October because of what's happening.
Mm.
If something doesn't start to happen at Western Lodge in a physical sense soon, I don't know how they're going to survive. So there's all this, all these kinds of things mixed up. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be traveling. I don't think I'm going to be meeting up with Stefano in India anytime soon because of the nature of things in the world right now. And before lockdown, Philo was talking about her drumming work was all coming together. The world had just opened up for me. I was becoming an international trainer and an international speaker and workshop leader, and I'd spent 2 years circumnavigating the globe doing the work that I love. And I was like, I'm in my happy place. This is this, like, I could go to all these different communities, meet all these beautiful people that I've helped on the path in different stages who've come through the doors at Whiston, and then to go out and see the seeds that they've planted and the communities that they've built was just breathtaking. And then it all stops. So it's been a crazy ride.
Any thoughts, Jane?
This is making me all this talk about when we all meet again. I think the kind of medicine that we have as facilitators is exactly what's going to be needed,
right?
As humanity emerges from its cocoon again. And I think while things have evaporated for us right now, just brace yourselves, because I really foresee us being kind of deluged with propositions and people wanting to do things that in some ways reconnect people and bring people together. And I mean, I imagine social distancing is going to go on for quite some time, but just that thing of I think this lockdown's gone on for so long now that we are going to have to relearn these behaviors a bit.
Yeah.
I went for a walk in the park with a friend I hadn't seen for a while in a socially distanced way, but we got tired really quickly. We had a lovely walk, but by the end of it, because we're just not used to being in the presence of each other and conversing and relating in that way. It's been that long, it's been long enough to break habits now. But I think this experience of drum circles and bringing people together and that face-to-face contact and that mutual collaboration, this is exactly what's needed, and I think exactly what's going to be wanted as well.
I don't think we've been forgotten either, Jane, because I know that I not regularly, but once every couple of weeks I get an email from a group saying, we can't wait to get you back in. We can't wait to start up again. We're looking forward to getting booked in. Are you going to be free, you reckon, towards the end of the year, and this sort of stuff. So I think there's people that can't wait for us to come back and start doing what we did in whatever shape or form will work for them as well. Yeah. So as much as we miss it, I think they miss us as well.
And I think it's going to be valued really differently this time. Not just as a fun, distracting activity or a chance to play the drums, but actually, I think the deep work and the deep part of it is going to be seen for what it is from now on.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I offered a drum circle, like a mini one. I think it was in June after the first lockdown, and we were 6 women there. And it was scheduled for 1 hour, 1.5, and we sat there for 2.5 hours talking. So we only stopped, or I intended to stop it, and then we started to talk, and there was such a big need for sharing and talking. I mean, this was only June. It's a year later now, so I think you're totally right, Jane, that this is exactly what people will need, and that it will be different, and we don't know yet how it's going to be.
But I think it's right what Jane was saying. It also is, I think it's going to be, people will understand it more. There's going to be more of an open door, whereas before we spent an awful lot of time trying to persuade people, get them to understand what it was about, understand the research, here's the science. I really do believe that there's going to be a slight more willingness to kind of, I want to do this. I want to bring people together. I want to come and drum. I want to be with my fellow man. And I think, I just honestly do believe it's about timing. It's like, hang in there, hold on. We need you and you need us, and we will get there. But I think also it will be on a different level of understanding, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that this is already happening. I already see, and you're right. So that was very important that you said we won't be forgotten, because actually I am already receiving email or messages asking, will you be available again, when we can start again. They're already applying for funding, different ways and different pockets. But I have witnessed what happened to the only regular ongoing group that I was facilitating, and that had been going on for 4 years. And I remember I was talking to Jane about this group a while back. And what's happened with them, with lockdown, having lost the drum circle as a way of gathering, they remained friends. And because they decided to include me into their WhatsApp group, and I kind of been watching their communication and seeing what they were doing with each other, they realized that drumming together had developed such connection and profound friendship with each other that they learned to accept and support each other unconditionally, I would say. I didn't think that really existed, but I've seen it happen. And they already know that this is because of what we did together over those 4 years. They never met in between drum circles, but now they formed their own support group. And there has been a little pocket of funding that they found as a support group, because they were all carers. And they bought some drums with it. They have bought drums.
Wow.
Oh.
So that they have them for when they can gather physically again. So this is already going on. I've been contacted this week by 3 different small organizations for whom I had run some drum circles before, who already said there's projects going on and we're applying for funding, so will you be available later on in the year?
Any thoughts from your side? I'm sorry, carry on, Philo.
It's because they've realized the depth of this, work, and how it filters in and it changes the way we are together. It really does create community, but also like Helga is doing with their work on Facilitate Your Inner Drum Circle, how that's also changed the way that they are with themselves internally, because it's about their own creativity, it's about what they make happen, how they establish connection, and they're capable of that. So their self-esteem is their confidence is a lot greater. So that depth is already understood because of the lack of the group. The circles disappearing has left people with a sense of what that was for, really, beneath the drumming itself. I personally miss the drumming as well, because I'm just a complete junkie for drumming and rhythm. But that the depth is already there. I really think that we're all waiting to do the real thing, knowing what the real thing is this time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Any thoughts from your side, Stefano?
Well, I'm crossing the fingers, and I agree with what you said. I'm sure that, as Mary Tolena uses to say, we got the superpowers. This is our superpower. And it can be really is the perfect superpower for this moment. And in the next years, I think, what we do and what we share with people is going to be more and more important. I don't know. I know that people need it, and I'm in touch with people, and what they tell me is that more or less what you were saying until now. They need to stay together. They need that kind of unity. I don't know if I can be optimist with my country, to tell the truth. I'm spending some days I'm up, I'm really optimist, and some days I'm really down emotionally, because we are programmed to get a reward. Our brain is programmed to work for something and get rewarded, and this we are working but postponing the reward. So I'm doing something because I know that maybe in 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years is going to happen something. I really don't know what is going to happen. I know that I'm trying to taking care of myself and of that energy, because I know that this kind of this way of living, these are all the circles are really powerful tools, because I lived it and I'm living it on myself. It's changing my life. So if it was life changing for me, it can be life changing for everyone. And I think that this is the reason for which every one of us does this job. It's not a job; it's a sort of mission, no?
Yeah.
It's also a job, but there is a lot more. It's not money. It's not about money. So I'm trying to keep.
It is.
At the end, it is obviously, but in my experience, really working hard and giving water to my roots and looking forward and yeah, working on my creativity was really a big reward, and then money was coming, so it was a natural reward of what I was doing. And what I'm trying to do, yeah, now is trying to be strong, because I know that I have to be strong and I have to be ready, strong for this moment and strong and ready for what is going to come in the future.
Stefano, can I just ask, when we last met, you were talking about some of the younger children in the schools and the socialization issues they were having and stuff like that, because a lot of this kind of work that we do is just not happening. Can you say a bit more about that?
Yeah, well, in Italy, in these days, there are some news about kids suicides. And what we were speaking about is about the difficulty to relate to each other in a real situations. So the difficulty to control emotions and the reactions, physical reactions, because we are not used to stay with people. Kids are spending the last year of their life, that for a guy that is 13 years old, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a great part of life. And they are spending it in front of a laptop, connected with the world just through their laptop. So it's also really, they are really aggressive, because they cannot move. It's like, yeah, I don't know, maybe I can see any difference with people in jail, because more or less it's the same. They are doing a life. They are missing school. That is quite strange, no, because school is something hated from all the children in the world. But they are missing school. They are missing waking up early. They are missing moving, and also because and this is a problem, and this is gonna be a big problem in the future, I think. And also because, well, teachers weren't ready for this. And I think that education is something, I'm talking about Italy. If education, if this public school works because there are some teachers that are amazing, that are passionate, that spend their money to train themselves, to do workshop, to study every day, they love their work, they love their job, they really give a lot to children. But I have to say that probably the way education is actuated is a little bit old. Well, Ken Robinson talked about it better than me, obviously. And yeah, and so this kind of, just I'm the owner of the knowledge and I have to feel your head and just your head. So there are no emotions. So I really loved, I'm reading a book about learning and emotions and feelings. And there is this Italian researcher called Daniela Lucangeli that is researching about the connection between learning and how the brain reacts to learning. And what they discovered, but probably is something that is going on from a lot of years, is that we don't remember, our brain doesn't modify just for what we learn, but also for all the feeling that we live while we learn. And so even in the DAD, in the working online, it's quite difficult to create a positive environment, to involve guys, to involve children, to involve people, because if they learn with joy, it's the drum circle, or the circle in general, I think is the perfect metaphor, because it's a place in which you are sure there is no judgment. So the reptilian brain is quiet. You can establish a relationships, you can communicate, and there are all the conditions to learn, and with joy.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And so I'm thinking a lot about what you said about this energy that is stuck into these bodies that cannot move, cannot have physical contact, and all these feelings, these bad feelings also, that they are accumulating. And so, wow, I think the next years will be really hard. There will be a lot to work on.